Hello.
Oh, hi, Masu. Hi, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you again. So this session will start in 5 minutes. Just wait for more people to join. So this session is more for the data engineer. And if you have any questions, just feel free to post our question in the chat or unmute yourself. Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for joining everyone. So my name is Adam. I'm the program manager from WeCloud Data. So for today, we're gonna talk about the career in the data engineer. And so this session is mainly for the beginners, like who are new to the data engineer field and have passion to become data engineer, but you want to understand what data engineer do and what's the requirement. So this is a very good section for you to get a better understanding and see if it's the right career for you. So this section will be live on the different platform, including the Meetup, YouTube, LinkedIn. Um, because not everyone joins the Zoom meeting. So if you have any questions, you can post a question in the chat. I will respond to that question. And also thank you for the patience. And I will start a bit late, and so we can allow more people to join. So before we get started, and I just want to quickly go over a little bit details about what that career looks like in the data field. Um, So first of all, I believe most of you already have to do some research before you join the sessions, but let me just quickly go over. So first of all, that's the most important thing for the data engineer is what is data and what allow us to provide the insight and which is also can all in for make a decision. So that's the very important. First of all, again, so the data engineer will be in charge of collecting the data. So the data could be already available data, or could be a streaming data, or could be like a stored in the different place, but you want to do the data ingestions or data, you want to merge the data to use, right? So you have to collect this information mainly for data analysis or machine learning, like our machine learning purpose. So you can find on the different format in our like daily lives. And so, for example, like the data will be generated like from the social network, and could be like a YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, even the session we have like in the meetup, we also collect the data. So data is everywhere. Um, and also it being collected from the for the industry use also could be the healthcare, medical service, and the shopping. Like so this the data can be different structured and also in the different way to store the data. So another examples, what's the purpose of data or what you can do with this data? Because the engineering the big part of the role in the beginning to prepare the data. So it's very important for you to understand what you're gonna do with this data or what's the goal, right? So you cannot just prepare for the data, but you don't know what's the expectations. So the uses of this data, what you're gonna do is again, you will support to the different uh, like teams and they're gonna use this data for the maybe for the customer relationship management, or could be for the process optimizations or network optimizations, or could be the product improvements. Uh, so it's the data you will provide is mainly based on the need. The reason I'm saying if you understand the need of data is because lots of company like the airlines, they generate just tons of data. And if you want to uh, prepare for like each data constantly, it could be generate lots of work. So that's why as the engineer, you have to have very good understanding about the need of the data and give the necessary data. For example, if they want to optimize the fuel efficiency, then you do need to provide the customer information, right? So you which is you may have to discussions with our team members as a data engineer to understand what kind of data gonna provide. So data could be stay in the different warehouse, which I will go over a little bit over the details in the next slides. Let me just skip out that. And so the competencies for the data engineer is you do need to know a little more about like a domain knowledge, not a lot, but more or less domain knowledge and you have some computer science background, it doesn't mean like you have to go to get a computer science like a degree, but it means like you do need to understand the math and able to write a code like SQL, Python, and Linux. And also you do need to understand the data structure and the cloud platform. So for the different positions of the company, they are in charge of different roles. For data engineer, your main purpose is building up the data pipeline, data modeling to supply data for the business intelligence or data analysis or data scientist usage. So it's very important role. Like before recent year, the company hired more data scientists, want to create a very like very like a production models, but they always struggle with that. The reason is they find that the data quality is not good or the data is not available. So now they change the way for the structure. They're looking for more data engineers, sometime to focus on the data preparations and build out the data pipeline to support high quality data to the different teams. So that's why you can see there's more demands recently for data engineer, and it could continue to happen in the next few years, just because the data being generated like tons of data being generated every day, and lots of company are migrating from the traditional like a service, like for example, from the local server to the cloud, and the different for example for the Oracle to the AWS. So there's lots of work need to be done. So this part will be done by the data engineer, which you will both handle the data from different resources, right? For example, the database could be from the SQL, MySQL server, or could be one from the AWS or Azure. So that's what the engineer do, like prepare the data and make sure everyone have the access. Okay, so now let me just quickly share you another screen about how it looks like. So I just go to this website. I will share this link with everyone, and you can take a look at that as well. So it's a really good website and give you a very clear idea, like what's the work's being done. So as the engineer, first of all, before we get to in this picture, so you have to know the coding of the most important skill is SQL, Python, or Linux. It's based on the requirements of company. It may difference. Some company are prefer using the SQL, and some company their teams are more into the Python. But most of them are like as long as you can able to make the pipelines, I believe they should be flexible, right? So again, so Python SQL is most important programming language you need to understand before you get this career. So now once you have these skills, right? So you have to look into the data. So the data again is could be from different resources. It could be from the mobile, could be from the website, or could be from the server, or could be from API. And the format could be a different. It could be a unstructured or structure. It could be audios, images. So there are like various of type of data you need to handle with, right? So we call that the data source. So that's what you're gonna do is operational data plans. Like you have to make plan how you're gonna store the data. But normally in a big companies, there is a data architectures. They already create this like a structure of data, and you not really need to worry about how the data being stored. You mainly make sure the data pipeline, for example, the data from the mobile, they are able to go to this like data lakehouse or any informations you need to collect, right? So you take that role. So what you're gonna do is building data pipelines. So mainly focus on the actual and then load the actual data load to the data lake. So we call it ETL, or sometimes it could be like a data integrations. Like for example, you do need to run some normalizations. For example, sometimes there are two data source and the format of date or format of the time are different. Sometimes they are using the Eastern time, sometimes they're using the Western time, or sometimes it will be year, month, day, sometimes it will be day, month, year, right? So you also need using the data pipeline to normalize this data and also save them to the right space. So in this program, it requires lots of coding knowledge, including the again Python, SQL, Linux, right? And once the model been been developed, and you can reuse it, and sometimes for the similar tasks, you may make some changes, and you can reuse it. So that's the first stage, which is save the raw data to the data lake. But again, in this data lake, the data still could be unstructured, or it's still not being touched a lot sometime, right? And sometimes you may not even do the data normalization in this stage. It really depends on the company needs. The most of the time when you start to do the data transformations or data integration or etc., it happens when there are requests from the data analytics team or data scientist team. They want you to prepare this data, right? So at that point, you want to convert unstructured data to the structured data. So where you're gonna create a data warehouse or analytics tables and for different team to use. So this will be more there's will be more complex pipeline. It's really depend on the demand. So it's can be lots of work you're gonna done in here. Like there is lots of requests being sent to you. So which means you want to do the ELT and also ITL, and depends on the need, right? So you want to extract the data again, and also, sorry, you want to transfer the data and load the data, and then other team can extract the data, right? So their warehouse is more like, I will call it a more like a prepared data. And then the data could be using for the visualization dashboard running by the SQL or Python, and also could be for the data scientist or data analytics team for the analysis. And again, so in this case is this will be the last stage for this data, like how to be used. But normally you don't need to control in this stage. You mainly focus on the data pipelines and also for the actual and the low, and then mainly for the data transfer. Yeah, so I have a question. Actually, let me do a little bit explanation for you. Yeah, so normally I call it a ETL or ETL or ELT. So let me just do. For me, actually, I'm not quite sure what I means in here, but I will do a little bit of research later, and I will explain that. So for here, I'm not quite sure what it could be called integrations, which means there, as I mentioned earlier. So integrations means when you want to combine the data from different resources, and you can want to do the normalization. So that's integrations mean. So that could be the integrations and the transfer and load. So in this explanation, okay. Is there any other question? No question? Okay, good. Yeah. So that's just the bigger scope of what data engineer do. And again, it looks very clear when we have a picture, but in terms of the real work, there are require different skills. So let me use a different slide as an example. So this is another example, so which is more simplified how this process has been done. So normally you get the source data and save them as a raw, and then make some pre-processing, and also this data will be used for the analytics data, and it could be using by the data scientist, or it could be using by the data analysis. It's depends on the roles and depends on the demands of the department. So this is the scope of the different roles in these teams, right? Let me go to next slides. Is about some project we create for our students. We do have some courses, and if you're interested, and you can join. But this is also a good example to explain in the different company and what kind of scenarios you may expect, and how to create a closer real like a project. So again, this is the example from our bootcamp, and if you're interested in that, you can join our bootcamp. And if you already have some skills, you can just learn the part you are missing, and to make the best for your career switch. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, SQL, Python, Linux, Docker, and Git is the most important skills for the data engineer. So we do have a pre-bootcamp of the data engineering fundamental for students to learn. The reason is when we go to each courses, it's more focused on the hands-on or apply to the real platform. So there won't be too much technical for the SQL, Python, how to run that, been introduced in each course. It's mainly focused on the operations, hands-on, and the practice. So for example, there will be we have like 3 phrases. Actually, we have 4 phrases, which cover the most of the needs on the current model days, like a data warehouse or data pipeline. So which means depending on the needs of the company, if some company using the Azure or AWS, this project will be good enough to cover the most of the demand jobs. There will be 3 phrases, and they represent 3 different industry or use cases need. The first one is analytic engineering. The second one will be the big data engineering. The third one will be real-time analytics engineering. The main difference for the analytics engineering, that's the most common positions you will find on the job description. So you're looking for someone to create a data pipeline to support the need for the analytics purpose. The second one is mainly for a larger company. So this company, for example, I will say like banking in Canada is like they are a large company, and as far as I know, because our alumni they are working in this different banking, and they are using the different cloud platform. So if you join the big company, the cloud, the big data is necessary or important. And also it could be work on some company they looking to provide us live data. Like we have some student work for sport medium, and they want to provide the live data for their audience. So the streaming data is very important for this team. For analytics engineering, the platform we use in AWS. So it will be using the EC2 for the cloud computing, S3 bucket or S3 for the storage, and also using the Lambda function, which means this won't be serverless like a service from AWS. You will practice ETL by scraping some data and using the Airbyte to load the data. So you will learn how to using the dbt to do the data transformation or data modeling, and the actual in the Snowflake. for the data engineer, it's not necessary for you to create any dashboard, but for the best practice, again, understand what's the important and how to create a dashboard is a set, like for some company, because we do hear some opportunities. They are looking for some data engineer who can create like a few dashboard per day based on the need. So it doesn't require you have a very good knowledge of for the analysis, but they want you to create some data pipeline to show some visualization on the different demands of the dashboard. So yeah, so also it should be a good practice for our students or for yourself to understand how to create a basic like analysis dashboard using the Metabase. So for the second phrase is a big data engineering. We will using the Azure for this phrase, and the Azure and AWS are very similar, and the same as Google Cloud Platform. Most of them provide the same service by using the different name. Like for example, like EC2 in the Azure could call block. S3 could be I forgot the name for the Azure in the for the storage but for the Lambda and Azure has a function. But again, so if you go to their website, if you're looking for the description, you always find the same service, but they have different name. Which means if you know one of these cloud platform, it's fairly easy for you to learn another platform because they provide the same service, same logics, but maybe different interfaces and different name. So in the Azure, you will learn the data factory. Oh, the data factory is a S3 bucket. So you will learn like how to do the EL, which means extra load in the data factory, and using the Azure blob, which in this whole progress using the Airflow to trigger each event, and push them into the like Databricks. Databricks is one of the I will say like a most important service for the big data. They have different clustering to handle large amount of data. So in this stage, you will transfer data in this progress. Again, you may depend on the company needs. You may run SQL and you may run Python in Databricks because Databricks can handle both like a SQL, Python, and different library and also Spark. You will learn in these courses as well, which also will be you also can get a little bit taste of the Scala. So this part will help you to understand how to handle the large data and do the data optimizations. So you are using different like compared with like analytics, you are using a different service for the visualizations, and so that's the phrase 2 for the big data. So the last phrase, which is also very important. Again, so it's really depends on the company needs. Also, it depends on the job you will apply for. So if there are higher demands, like there's a requirement for the live data. So this is a very good courses or phrase for you to complete. So in this phrase, we're using the S3 bucket AWS service. So using the S3 bucket, EMR, and Athena. So you will learn how to using the DynamoDB for non-SQL data, and you want to do the data ingestion using the Kafka and Kafka from AWS, and for the streaming data ingestion, and also you want to again push them to the Spark for the data processing. We call that the transformer, and transform the data, and also you are using the data lakehouse, save them into the data lakehouse as I showed you earlier. So the lakehouse means like you can save the data. It could be the structured or unstructured data. And the last stage you will using another like a SQL query to to create a visualization tools. I have questions from Matthew. Is it important to learn all different libraries and the cloud provider? That is a really good question. So as you can see, we provide three most popular use cases, and when you go to the when you start to work for the data engineer position, you may need to create one pipeline. It's not necessary to meet all these three different scenarios, but during the bootcamp or during the learning stage, you're pretty much gonna learn as many as possible because it's more for the purpose of the job, right? So you want hunting for the job, you want to send your resume to meet the demands on the job market. For example, if you just learn one of these skills, you may miss the a job opportunity if they are require someone have knowledge with the big data or real time data, right? So again, so I won't call it's necessary to learn everything in advanced level, but you had to get a little bit practice or knowledge uh, for different need, right? So this is mainly for you to apply for the job. Yeah, so again, so most of the time, different platform or different service they require. You could be just using do some research because sometimes if they are not using the Snowflake, they're using different server, or they don't using the Databricks, they're using a different service. They pretty much do the same thing, but they have different interface or different API. So you just need to do your research and make sure you understand the need, right? So, but again, if you want to just develop for your if you start a new company, if you want to start everything from scratch, uh, then you don't need to learn all of this three because you should ask someone are more senior to create a better a data pipelines. Yeah. Okay. So again, the library, the platform, you should get to know them, but you don't have to be an expert unless you have a straightforward goal. Say you want to become more focused on the analytics, like a role for your team, the company you apply for, they are more focused on the analysis, right? So you can just focus on the AWS. It's good if you get a inside like a referral or inside knowledge of your current company. You can upskill yourself, and you don't need to spend too much time on the rest of two freeze. I hope this answers your question. Is there any other question? Okay, so let me go back to this website again. So again, so that's the just example of the tools you can use. Uh, so there's just too many tools. I would say that. Again, you don't need to learn everything, but you get idea. For example, for the ingestion, what kind of service that is available depend on the company, right? So if the company they using the Google Cloud public SAP, then that's the one you should learn on the Spark. But there is a higher demands, a more popular. In our course, we choose to use Databricks because the Databricks is the most popular. And also for the data lake, depending on the platform, some company using the AWS, some other using the Azure or Google Cloud platform, depending on the company needs. And how you can handle the metadata. So there are some tools like Hive and other tools, right? So some of them I haven't had a chance to get in touch with them, but there's availabilities in here. And for the cloud computing engineers, there is more options. So which means like a different company, uh, they may using the different service. But again, so as long as you have knowledge with AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud Platform, you're pretty much ready for this different tools, right? So it doesn't mean like if you don't know one of them, they don't hire you. So they will find the best a fit person. They will give you some time to learn. But when you go to interview, you probably need to do some self-learning before you get the interview. They probably gonna ask you. So yeah, so this is another example. For the choice of tools, I will say still stick with our uh, curriculum. If you want to introduce our bootcamp, our curriculum can cover like 80% or 90% what you need on the current job market. And if there are any tools you need to learn, it doesn't take too long for you to learn. Normally, this could be a connector or integration tools, and which means you just need to read the documentation, or maybe there is some notes from the coworker they will let you to work on. Okay. Is there any question? Sorry, let me just go to here. Do data engineers had to use machine learning as well? No, data engineer, they don't require to run the machine learning. Expectation for these two positions are different. Data engineer, they don't require you have like a uh, like a good knowledge about the mathematics and the statics. But as a data scientist or data analysis, since they are looking for to create a model or do some visualizations, analytics is a must. And the engineer just need to prepare for their pipelines. There's no need for you because it's already tons of work for you to complete. And yeah, so the engineers focus on the tools of use and also the creating the data pipeline and supply them to the data engineer or data scientist, the analysis of data scientist. So the slides is not available, so that's mainly for the internal use. But still, you can watch the recording from the YouTube. And for other inquiries, you also can go to our website. Let me share that with you. So we do have we call data on the website, and you can go to the learning path. You can just compare with career, and we do have a very good explanation to explain the difference between each job and what's for example, the descriptions and who is it for, and the skills you need, the tools gonna be used, right? So there are more details. The title, for example, the data engineer, data developer, big data developer, data architecture, ETL specialist, data warehouse specialist, and etc. So this kind of job can apply. The salary expectation also can be found in here. So a senior can make more salaries, as we all know. And also we have small quizzes if you want. You can take small quizzes to see if it's a best fit for you. Oh, any other question? Okay. So let me just, since we still have 10 more minutes, let me just go to the details. So there's another example. compare with like software engineer, data engineer, and the data scientist. So for someone, if you have background from software, or you have hands-on some coding program like C or Java, so there are some a comments between the engineer, but sometimes again it depends on the needs of the company, because this more for the I will say the engineer or development. It could be involve some interface or some software develop. Some company do require, but not a lot. You'll go still with handle with the large data using the Hadoop and prepare the data or integration data to the data warehouses and to the ETL and be good at some databases. I think it's not this all everything, but there's give you a good idea like what's the difference between each predictions. And the big data is I will say is not for the machine learning use. It's mainly for the data pipeline. And the SQL, Python is must. Again, the analysis and the business intelligence is same as the C language. It's not all the position required. Some companies they do prefer someone has a more or less this skills. We do have a referral from one company, and actually they do looking for some data engineer and who can create a dashboard. Yeah, so there's some case, which is what we cover again. So what we cover in our courses. So as I mentioned earlier, some company they don't want to make any analysis. They want to just create some dashboard. They already have the expectation, or they already have setting the data pipeline in this stage. You just need to connect data to visualize the data. Scala is mainly focused on the big data. If you have time, I will say if you have time, you can spend time to learn Scala. But it's sometimes not necessary because there is a library from PySpark, and you can run Python. It will do the same as well. So Scala will be assessed. Some companies they prefer Scala, but if you don't know Scala, you know how to write SQL, write the Python coding, and it should be good. Yeah, Scala is just it's that. Any other question? Yeah, so the reason I have a question, could you explain more how dashboard is related to the engineering? Isn't it about the business intelligence? Yeah. So first of all, depend on the company needs, right? So some, as I mentioned earlier, some company they may have some live data. They want to they already have someone building the dashboard. But what you do is connect that data to the dashboard. Sometimes you want to make some adjustment to show what's the needs, what's the needs of the like for this dashboard, right? So it doesn't mean you need to do an analysis. You don't need to do the presentation. Your goal is just connect that to the dashboard. And when I say dashboard, sometimes it could be apps, could be interface for someone to tracking or monitor the streaming data. Yeah, so there will be a small part you will know, but you don't need to do work as a business intelligence. I hope this explains the question. Again, so what you do is connect data to the dashboard, make the visualizations, but you don't do any presentation. You mainly just make sure the pipeline maintains the pipeline. Yeah. Did this answer your question? Okay, so yeah, so I think we still have a few minutes left. If you have questions, and you can just feel free to unmute yourself. And if you're interested to our courses or you want to learn more about, for example, how long it take you to become data engineer, and what kind of the skills you have, the job tab, like if they're remote or not remote, and also the education background requirements, and the daily life looks like, you can always feel free to go to our website. You go to our website and go to our click talk to us, and we have some advisor that they will connect you and explain more. Because I believe the engineer is still a high demand on the current job market. The best way to figure out is go to the LinkedIn and just search the data engineer positions under the job. You can filter out by the location. For myself, I'm in Canada. If you're from United States, you also can find the United States. There are 1,600 from Canada result. For United States, there are like a 4,000 job available. Yeah, so there's still high demands. And let me just go to one of examples that's actually using the United States. So for example, there is a position from ATD, which is a remote. And actually, let me use another one. So this is more entry level. So that's fit for the most people. Oh, that's not meet the description. Just 1 second. Okay, so there's a expect. Okay, so let me go to McDonald. I think McDonald is either for us to go over. So they're looking for someone join the team. Again, so as a data engineer, you want to provide the data to the data scientist. So in this position, they are straightforward. So you will work with the data scientist, and you will provide data for the data and the data analysis for AI, and also to make sure that to take we need the advantage empowering a data-centric system, make faster and better decision. So what we're gonna do is provide a high-performance data pipeline to make to give the to meet the need for the data analysis of machine learning model. So responsibility require you have to build a data pipeline to ingest or integration data from various sources into an organization data lake. So as I showed the graph previously, so that's the most of the first stage. So they want you to design maintenance data quality check, identify and resolve data quality issues in the coordinations with other teams, and also develop a CI and or CD pipeline automation to account for data code and the model change. So this is more for the monitoring the quality of the data. Develop or optimize complex SQL queries to extract transform data from large other complex data sets. So that's part you want to use the big data knowledge. I believe they may also using Databricks. Collaborate globally with data scientists, machine learning operations, and architectures. Partner with the data governor team to enhance data compatibilities. So this is the requirements, and also when for someone like like again, so for the qualification, you can look in here. They require bachelor degree. But again, I don't agree you need engineering or statics to apply for this job. Most of the engineers more focused on the experience. If you have good experience, uh, this education background normally doesn't be that important. Um, they require you have 2 years of experience to building or developing data pipelines, and preferably with the machine learning platform like Databricks or similar, so which we're gonna cover in our courses. And data engineering with a context of data scientists familiar with the cloud platform such as AWS. 2 year plus coding with SQL, Python, experience with using the big data bench streaming tools such as Spark, and studying model machine learning like technique, experience working with data scientists for future engineering or EDA, experience with a continuous integration and the development, strong knowledge, etc. So again, so as you can see, the different companies, they have different requirements. And in this case, I will say the experience on the real-time analytics like courses or the freeze that can help you out for this position, right? So again, different company, they may require different expectations. So again, you're pretty much gonna learn everything so you can apply for different job to meet the demand. So for today's the job market, they do not change on these requirements very frequently. For example, if you learn AWS like 4 years ago, and they still can use it, and it's still the same technique. So that's why like what you learn, like if you want to transition to the engineer, it's like a long career. So it's not gonna be expert in like 10 years, right? So that's something you can use for long term, same as Python SQL. Some of tools or skills, they don't change a lot, and they'll only make the tools either faster and easier to use. So as a data engineer, again, so your expectation is building the data pipeline, make data available for the data team. And yeah, so again, so different company require different skill set, and you do need to do your research to find which is the job you are interested and apply for that job. Okay. Is there any other question? Yeah, so if no more questions, again, the recording will be still available on our YouTube channels. Let me share our YouTube channel with everyone. So if you miss some of the sessions, the recording is, I believe, still available. The job market in Toronto, let me just check. I just posted a link. So in Toronto, I search. Normally, when you search Toronto, you can see there are like a 2,000 position, like a position available. But normally, you're just looking for the past 24 hours, and you can, if you want to filter out, you can filter out by uh, entry level or associate. So search result. So there are like 21 position post yesterday. As I can see, some of our alumni, they can provide referrals. Yeah, so for example, there is a CBC, they are hiring, and just they are specialists from government and the staff machine learning platform engineer. So this one is not right one. Okay, so this is not the engineer positions. and this is a GCP data engineer, etc. Yeah, so there will be still high demands, I believe, for the data engineer. And also we do have some posts. Again, we have some internal referral. They post in the United States, but they are hire someone in Toronto. So LinkedIn is one way for you to get uh, for the job hunt, and also there are other platform like Indeed, and for our student we do have internal referral opportunities. But again, before that, you do need to have uh, a good knowledge of these tools and gain some experience. For someone with zero experience in data engineer, uh, yeah, if you have zero experience, but you have good trainings, we do have service for uh, we do have service we call the Clam project. So if you are interested, let me share that one with you. And we do have a service, and that's you can apply what you learn and to the real work. So you can check our website. If you have question, you can click apply now, or just ask someone to talk to us. So we will explain more detail about service. I don't think we have time to cover it, but the real client project means you will work on the real or solve the real world problems, and that part you can put on your resume. Well, maintaining skills is very, I would say it's very hard. Yeah, for my, you can connect me on my LinkedIn. So I share my LinkedIn here. And if you want to connect, you can feel free to connect me on LinkedIn. Yeah, again, so for maintenance knowledge, it's very difficult. So the best way is work on real world problems, work on projects. So the project had to be very valuable. You had to get someone to give you feedback, help you to make some improvements, right? So the right project is very important. And yeah, so that's why we do have the service, which is called the real project course. We call it course, but it's a real experience. Yeah. What are your suggestion to improve number of interview invitation to my solution of receiving zero response after many data scientists and analytics application United States? Yeah, so um, I cannot give you any advice until I see your resume. Uh, so what I'm gonna suggest, when you have a resume, oh yeah, so the client project we have both United States and Canada, but normally as long as for the North American, we have students they work for a project in Canada, but they get offer from United States. It's really based on the job you apply for, like the client project, it doesn't really matter because what you do is actually let me share you an example of our students resume. I think that's can explain better. Okay, so I have an example. Let me just quickly go over. Okay, I'm not sure if this easy to read. Let me just full screen. So here, just examples about. Actually, let me just make it bigger. There we go. So this is just an example from our students' resume. So once they graduate from our courses, so which is the title will be here. For example, if some student taking the in this example is a student from University of Toronto, and could be bachelor or PhD degree, and also they take the courses from we call data, so that's education. But normally the company, they don't look into the education first. They normally start with the technical skills and the experience you have. So first of all, your technical skill had to match the job description. Secondly, they were looking into your previous experience. So our student in this example, so this is a little bit outdated like example. So but still, as you can see, this the student work for the BIM data. So you don't directly work for the clients. You work for the BIM data, which are our companies. And BIM data, we have a BIM data in Canada and the United States. So BIM data get this like a project from different corporate, could be a big company, could be a small company, could be a startup or different industries. So they receive the projects and they will send to the student to complete. So you will work for the BIM data as a data engineer or data scientist consultant. So you not only create a data pipelines or do the create a machine learning model, you also involved to understand the business problem. So that's why we add consultants under your title as well, which it do give you a higher values uh, when you go to the interview, right? So you not only handle the job, you also have to communicate with communicate with the owner or the sometimes the project managers, which is from the corporate or could be the owner of the small business. So you understand the business need and give the problem some solution or suggestions, right? So that's how it looks. Yeah, so normally what I'm gonna suggest, you have to have at least 6 months experience on your resume to get interview. So as a HR, so they don't spend too much time to review your resume. Normally they only take 10 seconds to 30 seconds to check your resume. And your previous experience, if it's not relevant to the position you apply, they don't really like they don't really like take a give you big advantage. They will just consider as a asset, so they don't value that much. So normally you want to have the most of a job, this like I mean the experience on your real world experience. Even though you could be a very uh, like a like successful career in the previous experience, but normally you don't need to give too much. It doesn't take too much paragraph on your resume. We recommend you have one paper, one sheet resume instead of a 2 page. 1 page is the best resume. Again, so they don't have time to go or to read 2 page resume. So yeah, so for the payments for the service, I think you can pay like pay everything like in advance, so which they will see receive some discount, and also you can do some installment. But still, I not the right person to answer your question. The best way is go to our website, click talk to us, and some of our advisor can talk to you. Okay, let me just share the link with everyone again. No worry. I like the questions and it's more English, and I also hope you can get good information from these sessions. And um, another question. So we assign project from big data, which subset of we call, yeah. So we have two companies. One is for the academic, which is training for the corporate training, for the training with like we do have actually, let me share another slide. Let me explain a little bit more about what we call data and BIM data, and to make sure everyone understand the difference between the BIM data and the we call data. Just 1 second. Yeah, so just first of all, we call data is a training academy. So we are develop different service to meet the demand of the job market. So we have up-to-date bootcamp, we have corporate trainings, we have mentorship, and then we have consulting. Yeah. So our program, like different program, are consistently ranked as the best program. So we have data scientist program, like business intelligence, data engineer, and the machine learning program, machine learning engineer program. And so that's some our students like where they are now. So they are working for different company. Some of them are from Canada, some of them are in United States, and also is not limited by the North American. So we also have students from Middle East, Europe, and like everywhere, actually everywhere in the world. So we do collab with Singapore Management University, University of Calgary's, and some Middle East companies, sorry, universities, to the for the trainings, and also we do provide cover training as mentioned earlier. So here are some example of our clients. Again, so it's the choice of the client is decided by the project managers. So the company you will work for is a BIM data. So it's different company compared with a we call data. So that's the consulting company. We have website which is here. Let me just so let me share the link to the BIM data. So that's the BIM data website. So BIM data website are a professional consulting companies, and we have different clients. So here are some examples of our existing client. And if you want to know more about BIM data, you can go to our website. But still, this is mainly for the B2B, it's not for the students. And for the more details, it's still the best way I will recommend is go to the wecalldata.com. We have live bootcamp, but for this year, we don't have live bootcamp for the rest of the year. We have a bootcamp just start a month ago. For the next live bootcamp, we will planning to do earlier next year. So for the projects, also for if you want to become a data engineer and you want to start as soon as possible, we do have courses called the self-paced course. It doesn't mean you study everything by yourself. And just quickly show you an example. So first of all, we have a self-paced course, and we do provide tons of support. So that's how it looks. And just move on to the example. So that's how it looks like on the learning portal. So you have access to the different courses. Again, the courses will be split to 3 phases. Each phases you are solving the different problems. And the support you will receive is first of all, you can send your questions in the Discord. Secondly, you can book a one-on-one mentor. So the mentor could be instructor, could be TA. So you will get a guaranteed problem solve on one-on-one. And also we have office hours every Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. So you can drop by to ask questions. So again, even we call the self-paced courses, I will prefer to say small customized learning, and you can based on your personal like planning to complete the courses. We do provide you a schedule. We will help you to complete this course and give you the different based on your needs. We provide different mentorship across this learning. So for the project itself, each project normally will be sent to 2 students. Yeah, so which will be unique. So I will say like there is only like 1 or 2 students work on each project. It will be unique for each student. Yeah. Yeah, so for data engineer, I will say there are the best ways to go to LinkedIn. We don't have we do have a few students, they are land job recently. I also invite them to join the like alumni successful storytellings because she just landed sorry, let me just go to one of my slides. So actually, what happens when you are for example, we have a student, her name is Roshan, and Roshana, and she recently like we get a phone call, so require a reference check. So normally at that point, we know that student normally will expect to receive a job offer. So yeah, so she get a job recently, and if you want to learn more about the successful story from the students, we are planning to have it earlier October. And if you're interested to join the sessions, and you can follow our meetup. Again, for the job market is still, I would say, still very good for the engineer. Based on my research, there's still high demands. Yeah, and also we do actually there's a lots of internal referral opportunities from our data engineer students. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah, so for some project, like a big project, the company will pay the data, and some student can get a part-time job, and sometimes they can get direct hire from the project they are working on. Yeah, we have a few students, they are either get a part-time job or contract or permanent positions in the real client project, but still this is not a guarantee. It's based on the performance of the students and also the need of the company. Yeah, we do have a few students. Yeah. Is there any other question? Yeah, for the lab bootcamp, unfortunately, we don't have this year. But if you join our self-paced bootcamp, and if you want to transfer to lab, we can do that. The self-paced learning is I will say, is better for someone can want to start as soon as possible, and you still get tons of support, like one-on-one sessions, and the TA offices are still available. So we also can go over every details, make sure you are learning on the track, right? So yeah, so we call it self-paced learning, but I will consider that will be customized learning. the live class will be next year, and if you want to retake, we do give you opportunity to retake. Yeah, there's no additional charge. So for the price, the self-paced is cheaper because you don't need to pay for the instructor, like because there are lower cost, it's more affordable, and also it's more flexible for the students. So I think that's why we are focused on the self-paced instead of the live bootcamp this year, because first of all, affordability is the start time, and also like there also you can retake if you need. Yeah, so there's a benefit from the self-paced. Yeah, it's really based on your but based on the needs of our students. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. If no more question, and thank you everyone to join. I really appreciate these questions, and thank you for you to take your time to stay with us. And I hope this session is very insightful. And then we do have more session for the um, upcoming days. If you are interested, please go to our YouTube channels or our meetup to follow up with us. And looking forward to see you soon. And best luck to the job like career switch. Yeah. So I'm gonna stay here just for a few more minutes, just in case if you have any follow-up questions. Yeah, data analysis, you do need to learn Python because some even though some company they are prefer using the SQL, they will use less Python, but you can now make that prediction, right? So you don't not guarantee the next interview you get are they require Python or not. So both Python and the SQL are equivalent importance, but Python is a less important than SQL for the data analysis. Yeah. So it's again, but based on what you need. Yeah. We for the co-op, we don't have any rate for the co-op. Unfortunately, we don't have that. And if you're interested to our client project, you can go to our website, and our advisor can talk with you to let you know what's the benefit you will receive, and also let me share that with you again. Yeah, and also the co-op, sometime the design may not as good as our client project. Yeah. Okay,